Hey, I get it, standing in the aisle or scrolling endless pages. You're trying to figure out if you're about to drop a few $100s on speakers that will actually sit nicely in your living room and actually sound good when you fire up your favorite movies or playlists. The last thing you want is to end up with a set that looks great on paper but ends up gathering dust because it doesn't blend into your space, or, worse, it just sounds flat in the room you finally managed to set it up in. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this video I'm going to walk through the Polk Audio Reserve R500 compact floor standing speakers and help you decide if they're the right fit for your home audio setup, or if you should keep looking. First, a quick snapshot of what these speakers are trying to be. Polk markets the Reserve R500 as a compact floor stander, which already tells you a lot about the design goal. They want the power and presence of a typical floor standing speaker, but in a smaller cabinet that won't dominate a modestly sized room. The R500 comes as a pair, which is what most of us need for true stereo imaging, and the package includes the speakers only, no subwoofer, no amp, just the drivers and the usual mounting hardware. That makes it a good candidate if you already own an amp or AVR and you're looking to upgrade your front left and right channels. Who should consider the Reserve R500? If you're a movie lover who already has a decent center channel speaker and a sub, and you want a more immersive front left and front right experience without taking up the full footprint of a traditional tall floor stander, these could be a solid choice. They're also a decent upgrade for someone moving from bookshelf speakers to something a bit bigger. The extra height gives you a more natural soundstage without needing a massive wall. The built-in spikes and rubber boots mean you can either anchor them directly to a solid floor or sit them on carpet without worrying about vibrations, which is handy for apartments or homes with mixed flooring. Who might want to skip them? If you have a very large living space, think an open-plan area over 400 square feet, you'll probably find the R500 lacking in bass depth and overall volume compared to larger floor-standing models. The compact nature also means the enclosure volume is limited, which directly affects how low the drivers can go. For bass-heavy listeners, think EDM or heavy rock fans who want that rumble that you can feel. Not having a dedicated subwoofer could be a deal-breaker. And finally, if you're hunting for a single-box solution that includes a built-in subwoofer, these won't meet that need. They rely on the patented port system to tame bass resonance, but they don't replace a sub. Now let's get into the practical strengths that show up once you actually bring the R500 home. The first thing you'll notice is the clear and detailed highs claim. Polk's broad dispersion design does a respectable job of spreading the high frequencies across the listening area. In a typical 20-seat home theater configuration, the left and right speakers still sound crisp whether you're sitting dead center on the couch or slotted to the side. The highs get a bit of sparkle without becoming harsh or sibilant, which is something you'll appreciate if you listen to vocal-centric music like acoustic folk or jazz. The mids are where they really try to earn the smooth and natural badge. The cone geometry is engineered for stiffness, and in my own listening tests the vocal delivery feels natural, no exaggerated presence that would make a singer seem too close, and no recessed mids that would push the vocals back. I played a few albums that are notorious for mid-range anomalies, like classic rock record with a lot of guitar and vocal overlap, and the R500 kept each element distinct. That separation helps during movie dialogue too. You won't miss a line when an explosion is happening on screen. Bass performance is the third pillar of the review, and this is where the distortion-free bass claim meets reality. The patented port system does indeed dampen the typical cabinet resonance you hear with many budget floor standers. The bass is tight and articulate up to about 80 Hz, which is enough for most music and movie soundtracks to feel punchy. However, you'll notice the roll-off after that point. There's no deep rumble that you'd get from a larger enclosure or a dedicated sub. In practice, that means you'll want to pair the R500 with a sub if you want thunderous low-frequency impact for action movies. If you don't have a sub, the speakers still sound clean, but they won't fill a big room with that low-end weight. Placement flexibility is another practical win. The R500 ships with both spiked feet and rubber isolation pads. I tried them on hardwood, on a low-pile carpet, and even on a thin plywood platform, and the speakers stayed stable and didn't transmit a lot of vibration. The spikes gave a more anchored feel.